seconds remaining.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Starladder Season 8, Day 17. I just can't help but chuckle at chat sometimes here. I'm Zayori, joined once again by Cinderin. My friend, how you feeling here coming into Na'Vi versus the Qpad Red Pandas?
I'm looking forward to being entertained, I guess is the way to put it, because I feel like right now Qpad has nothing to lose, and Na'Vi has to win.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of the point of entry into this. I believe, almost regardless of how the rest of the tournament goes for Qpad, I don't think they can make it to the playoffs. I believe they're currently 2-6.
Yeah.
So I guess there is a theoretical possibility, but I'm not sure what teams they lost against, if it's likely or not. But regardless, I mean, for any team playing against Na'Vi like this is always going to be something cool to watch. And I love that they picked up the IO early on in this game. It gets picked finally. And they go with a clockwork as well. Na'Vi, very standard stuff. Bristleback and Crystal Maiden, Bristleback kind of the big winner of this new patch, I feel.
Yeah.
And Crystal Maiden has been stable for a while, so not too big of a surprise there. And I guess the cool thing about this for Qpad is that, like I said, since they don't have too much to lose, they can go with some really crazy shit. I wouldn't say IO is crazy as such, but it's starting to become less and less regular of a pick, and sometimes it makes some incredible plays if it has a player who's really good on it.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the player's skill on this particular hero, so I can't say, but
yeah.
In the right hands, this hero is still definitely a top pick, in my opinion.
One of the biggest issues that the Qpandas have had is their lack of stability with their roster. We see 3 stand-ins, only 2 tagged up, that is, of course, Blue Banana and Durham. And again, just to spite chat, to compliment what Merlini has been saying, the Qpanda has really been struggling finding that roster, and they've had pretty much different stand-ins every single time we've seen them. I think they've been consistently with 3 stand-ins, and they're not even the same stand-ins. So that seems to be really the bane of their struggles, or the... Yeah, I guess that makes sense. The bane of their experience here in Starladder Season 8. And you can kind of tell. You know, it's hard to play with 3 stand-ins, different stand-ins every day, so it sort of makes sense. So on that notion, I haven't a clue who their skilled EO player is, or if they have one. I'm not even familiar with Plox. That is not a stand-in name that I recognize. I do recognize RMN, of course, and Villic I may have seen a time or two, but...
Plox used to play in... what was it? Propernity, or was it? Yeah, Propernity. That was the name of the team, right? P-R-O-P.
Okay.
Or was it Property? No, it was just Property. What does Propernity even mean?
I was like, Propernity, okay. One of those teams I've never heard of, I guess.
Alright, Alright, yeah, you roll with it. I'm gonna have to look this up right now if I'm just convincing myself about stuff.
Alright, you got it. So, some interesting bans from Na'Vi, though. They will ban out the Magnus as well as the mighty Starladder. Abaddon will be banned out by the Qpad Red Pandas. I think that makes a lot of sense. We've seen the devastating toll that Bristleback Abaddon can have together if they are laned in a duo setup, or even a tri-lane with a CM. It's just ridiculous. The Bristleback is already tanky in those early levels, and with the Aphonic Shield, the heals from the Miscoil, it gets pretty dirty pretty quick. So, not surprised to see him banned out here. And we'll see what Na'Vi want to grab with their 3rd pick. They are thinking very, very hard about this. Going to burn most of their reserve time. So, trying to decide what they want to do. And it's going to be the Luna once again. Is that 3 out of 3 games here? We're going to see a Havosta Luna. Na'Vi very confident in the Luna play.
Yeah, quickly, just 2 things. I just looked it up, and yeah, it was indeed called Team Property BB2. I believe they do have a StarCraft squad, and it's a Swedish organization, I believe. That's where Fluxpluxx used to play. I guess their team is disbanded in Dota 2 or something like that. At least haven't seen them around for a while. There's a couple of things about this Luna that makes it good. First of all, Na'Vi has played a lot with this hero, so they're very confident with it and playing around it and using it. But it's also, especially in the new version, the way IO works, Luna is even better. Because the way ganks with IO usually come down is that when you make a global gank with IO +1, you teleport 2 heroes in, but you don't want to do that on top of a Luna with ulti ready, and since you can't even stun with a tether anymore, it's actually kind of risky to go for these global kind of ganks. So what Na'Vi has right now is they have 2 cores who are very hard for IO to gank, so very intelligent pick in my opinion. Bristleback, kind of the same story. Alright, he doesn't have Eclipse, but he can position himself with the back towards the point at which the heroes poured in with relocate. And then he's going to be very hard to bring down as well. So I really like this from Na'Vi. And Nyx Assassin. Wait, get a new hero today as well. Oh, 2 new heroes today. IO and Nyx. Both
Yeah.
first time picked today.
I like the Nyx pick here, because if Qpandas do want to do this kind of global strategy you're talking about, I don't know that Furion would be a great choice here, as they already have the Clockwork set up for the off lane, but every time I see a Nyx Assassin, that's what I think, deterring those Furion picks, because Nature's Prophet just has a bad time trying to do that Rat Dota style when there's a Nyx Assassin on the field, especially after that level 11, level 2 Vendetta comes out. Nyx can be, well, pretty much anywhere, that mystery card, and makes split pushing that much more difficult, but alas, may not be the case. Just going to be a solid support here for Na'Vi. And you never know. Could be a Nyx Assassin mid. That's one of the things I like about the Nyx pick as well. I don't think that'll be the situation here, but there's always that possibility of Nyx taking over the mid role.
Yeah, the problem for Na'Vi in that regard is they don't have the last pick. So they don't know what he would be playing against in mid yet, in my opinion. And if it is a Slark, that's a really unfavorable matchup for Nyx Assassin. That's one of the worst. Okay, he has some worse matchups, but it's a really hard matchup for Nyx.
Yeah.
He's an agility hero against Slark, and he loses his mana fairly quickly, and Slark just goes and hits him all the time, and Nyx can't really fight back. So that's a little bit hard on him, but we'll see. What I like about the Nyx as well, I'm starting to see a pattern here, because this, again, this is just a hero that it's hard to relocate gank. Spite Carapace buys you time, and then you can get off a dual stun with the Impale, and their final pickup is Queen of Pain, who, guess what, is hard to relocate gank, because she can blink away. So, I'm expecting either Kuro to be really tunneled. I'm assuming he'll play... actually, it's probably Puppy on Crystal Maiden and Kuro on the Nyx Assassin, but apart from the CM, it's actually very hard for Io to find kills on this map, I think. Yeah. Unless if they do a good kind of synergy with a third hero coming into the mix, which changes everything, and that's where Clockwork comes into play. Because when he gets a hookshot onto that Luna, things are different.
Yeah.
Then the relocate is different. Same on Bristleback, same on Nyx Assassin. But at least that's what I gather from Na'Vi's draft. Apart from the fact that it's obviously very solid, they've got good damage, they've got good lockdown, a nice carry, good support, so an overall solid draft with a twist of, alright, we're playing against Io, we don't want to die.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
And we'll see what the Qpad Red Pandas want to do with this final pick. They do have some options, as you mentioned. Slark could go mid, and they could just grab a hard carry, something to pair with the EO, one of the classics, Ursa, something like a Tiny would work all right here if that's the route they wanted to go. Or they could just pair the EO with the Slark and grab more of a traditional mid hero if that's their choice. Something like a Storm Spirit could be all right here to tango with that Queen of Pain. Also, Puck still available in the pool. So a couple of options for the Red Pandas. They may be trying to decide which one they want to go for here as well. Slark versus Queen of Pain would be an interesting mid matchup. That is one I have not seen, and would be curious to see how the Slark would fare against
Not well.
Not well, yeah. I wouldn't think so, but it would be interesting.
Yeah, and that might be the problem right here, because at the same time, I don't think Slark... it's actually not the worst hero to run together with an IO in terms of relocate ganks. It's fairly decent, you have good burst damage when coming in, but you don't have a lockdown, and that's what you generally want to have on a hero you relocate in with IO, because else, actually, if you relocate, you can't relocate gank the Quap with anything in this game so far. You can always just blink away. They don't have a stun apart from Clockwork's hookshot. So... a little bit tricky in that regard. I really don't know what they're thinking right now. I can't tell you what's a good pick for them either. There's a couple of options. OD is actually still in the pool if they want to try to run that. Then they have some pure damage against Bristleback and a good laner against Queen of Pain, and then run Slark in the easy lane. But for some reason, I don't think that's the choice.
And Timber Saw as well. Speaking of pure damage, he does work pretty well against the Bristleback. And it's going to be a Doom.
Nice hero against Bristle. That's the best counter pick in the game. Actually, the Bristleback, because it's the only. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the only thing that stops Bristleback from working, right? There's nothing else. Hex. Hex does as well, I believe. If I'm not completely wrong on this one, I feel like Hex removes it. When I've played Bristleback in a game or two, when I get hexed, I feel like I get hurt really hard. So
I believe it does. It would make sense that it does. That's sort of one of the things about Hex. It removes evasion, so it makes sense that it would. Yeah. It would work through Bristleback. If it doesn't work through Bristleback, then Bristleback is even stronger than I've been thinking this entire time. Let me put it that way. So I don't know for certain, though.
You're right. So definitely Doombringer and... yeah, what else? What else is there to think about? Doombringer and Hexes, but they don't really have any Hex carriers on Qpad, so the main way of locking down the Bristleback will be the Doom. And it's such a long, extended duration that Bristleback loses his functionality for a very long time in the fight. So, nice last pick. Also gives them the potential to start finding these relocate ganks, because now Doom can set it up with a Shadow Blade. And that changes things quite a lot.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And I'm curious to see how Na'Vi want to lane this. They do have a habit of putting Funnick in that safe lane to start things off and go the long lane, tri lane, so that he gets a little bit of farm priority, see if he can get that slightly better timed Vanguard, and then they often pull the lane rotation and let Funnick go to his own devices. Though I've also seen Na'Vi just run Funnick straight up in the long lane and do the safe lane try as well. They do have a couple of options here, and I don't know, hard to say exactly how they're going to do it. Also curious about the Qpanda laning phase here. Still don't know. Let's see, we can take a look at least who's grabbed. I don't know who their mid player is. That's part of my problem here. Based on the names, I don't know if this is going to be a Slark mid. Blue Banana doesn't tend to play mid, so probably going to be an off-lane Doom would be my best guess. And but they have Clockwork. I don't know how they're going to lane this. I'm really not sure.
No, me neither. That's that's pretty much the biggest concern for Qpad right now. How do we get a laning stage that benefits us?
Yeah.
Because Na'Vi definitely have a couple of options here. We'll see. I think the offlane Clockwork is probably the best choice, and then tri-laning the Doom, or putting the Doom mid and Slark bottom. Either of those choices is probably the best. But yeah, it looks like it is going to be Doombringer mid. And he has a lot of regen. He can stand fairly well against Queen of Pain with all of this regen, a Stout Shield, as well as Scorched Earth. This is pretty much as defensive of an item build as you can get. Stout Shield, Branch, 4 Tangos, Salve, and 2 Pool Tangos.
Yeah.
So he knows he's going to have a hard time.
Yeah, absolutely. So looks like Na'Vi are going to do a 5-man grouping here down to the bottom lane. They will throw down a ward to start things off, can get some vision into the jungle, and looking to maybe engage. Nope, not going to find it. Qpandas will scout it out, and they will head back. Puppy going to throw down a sentry here as well, right behind the pole camp. So Nick's Assassin with that cute little hat on. It's pretty adorable. So on our Radiant side, we do have the Qpandas, aka the Qpad Red Pandas. It looks like they will be doing a tri-lane in their safe lane here. Down bottom, Villic, one of their stand-ins, going to be farming away on the Slark. RMN going to be supporting on the EO down here in the bottom as well. Durham going to be playing on the Shadow Demon, slated for that bottom lane. As we mentioned, Blue Banana on the Doom, going to be headed to the mid. And Phlox Plox going to be in the off-lane Clockwork here, solo long-lane Clockwork. On the Dire side, of course, we do have Na'Vi. Dendi going to be in the mid, playing on the Queen of Pain. Down in the bottom, it is going to be that long lane Funnick I was talking about. He will be solo down here in the bottom. And up in the top, that means it's a safe lane, tri-lane. Kuroki going to be on the Nyx Assassin. Puppy going to be on the Crystal Maiden. And Havost, of course, going to be hard farming away on the Luna.
Havost is probably hoping to have a different Luna game than last time. Although he said in an interview he doesn't really mind not getting farmed. The thing that matters is that your team wins the game, and that's the right mentality. Sometimes you're going to be sacrificed for the grid, and then you're going to build an Aghanims and refresh your orb when you're Luna in that case. But in this game, I think it's going to be different. This time he has a very easy lane, so he's going to be a strong force this time around, and I'm not even sure Na'Vi will need him to be that farmed early on, because they have strong supports and they have a Bristleback who I don't think these supports can actually keep completely away. Even a tri-lane this time, once Bristleback hits level 2 or 3, the support duo here just doesn't have damage. Shadow Demon and Io is not the best combo for lane dominance.
Yes, that is absolutely right. And one of the problems with the EO as well is that he really needs experience. It's one of those heroes, especially in the support world, that absolutely needs to hit level 6. And it sort of becomes a different presence about the map once he grabs that relocate. And the way they have this set up, so far, not a lot of experience going the way of the supports here. And one of the problems with Wisp as well, doesn't really jungle nearly at the same veracity that the Crystal Maiden does, for example, where Puppy's already level 2 here in the jungle, second point in the Arcane Aura. And both Durham and RMN just standing by, letting the Slark grab all the solo XP, which is good. Slark certainly needs it, but it will take a little bit longer for that Wisp to come online.
Yeah, it's in the current metagame, it doesn't work having 2 supports standing and looking at the offlaner. You lose too much momentum, and already Na'Vi, like you said, got level 2 in the Crystal Maiden, and at the same time, Nyx Assassin is doing a good job up top. They're not denying Clockwork experience completely, but they're getting their own, and that's a better trade-off right now. It's really important for Qpad that they either start pulling in this bottom lane, or they start making rotations so that they get some sort of level on their supports. Shadow Demon, 20 experience at 2.5 minutes. This is when you want to be level 2, maybe 2.5 even if you're having a good start. But they're throwing everything onto Slark, so effectively put all the pressure on him to be a force in the early game, where it's generally the supports who make the moves.
Yeah, and especially against this tri-lane. I mean, this tri-lane against the Bristle. I mean, Durham and RMN don't really need to be here. I've been watching this bottom lane pretty much exclusively, and so far they have yet to really do anything. They've moved back and forth. We see them zoning out the Bristleback right now, but Funix sees this, and he's A-okay with it. He says, right now, I'm keeping 3 heroes busy just by rotating in and out of the lane and stacking Ancients. That's exactly what they want Funix to be doing, and it's opening up a lot of room at the top. As you mentioned, Kuroki getting experience, and Havost is doing just fine. He's 17-7, farming on par with the Slark, and I think Na'Vi will be happy with that. And if we look at the gold graph, that should reflect what we've been talking about a 750 gold lead already at the 3-minute mark with no kills on the field, and about a 500 experience lead. So not the most significant of numbers, but given there has been no kills, no tower kills, anything like that, a pretty decent disparity to get things started.
Interesting skill build from Dendi. I don't think I've seen this before.
Oh, wow.
He's getting 2 points in Blink and 2 points in Shadow Strike. This might just be a misclick, because it's very unusual not to get the point in Scream of Pain. Sometimes you get 2 points in Shadow Strike for lane dominance and to put pressure, especially against melee heroes, like in this case. It's a very good pickup, but you will generally get Scream of Pain at level 4.
Yeah, that second point in Blink
might have just made a mistake.
Yeah, hard to argue that second point in Blink more valuable than the Scream of Pain, even at level 1. But, yeah, probably going to be, oh, yeah. I was going to say, never mind. So an interesting build from Dendi, but he seems to be faring pretty well. Doom only 6-0, and Dendi 23-15. Yeah. I think that's the definition of lane dominance here. Doom going to poke forward, but yeah, Dendi is just fine. So Na'Vi really off to a pretty solid start here. Slark is doing very well, keeping up last hit for last hit with his counterpart, who of course is Havost in the top lane. But that's really kind of all they have going for him. Na'Vi ahead by 1,000 gold lane, just by farming. Oh, in the mid. Dendi in a little bit of trouble. No, maybe not.
Maybe. Old Tether would give him trouble right now, but it's new Tether. It's hard to see that the IO is invisible, right? You're like, why is Dendi standing here?
I literally really just thinking that, like, oh, he is invisible. Okay. It looks exactly the same. Wow. So, yeah, Wisp not going to be able to set this kill
lane, up. Might be getting... No, he actually gets first blooded.
Oh, no. I caught the tail end of it.
That can happen. He's going to get a double.
Yeah, Durham, no way he's going to survive. Wow. I caught the tail end of it, but that's sort of the problem with Bristleback in the off lane. Funix is level 5 and going to make for an easy kill. Quill Spray. It's as simple as that. Slark way overcommitting. And now Na'Vi have effectively won every single lane.
No. Yeah, Bristle is higher, has more XP than the Slark, who was given everything because he just threw it into him there. So, massive advantage for Na'Vi. We even see them stacking their own jungle. This is a triple stack on the hard camp that they're farming together with Lucent Beam as well as Impale.
Yep.
And Clockwork, level 4. He had a pretty good start with getting some experience. Then after that, Na'Vi have been able to hold a really good equilibrium close to their tower. Havost tree farming, Clockwork getting nothing. And, I mean, Dendi doesn't need any sort of help right now. This is a complete overpowering of the Doom.
Yep, down in the bottom. Funix going to get engaged on again. Slark does hop forward, actually going to do a good bit of damage. Durham going to come in with the defensive disruption. Might be enough to keep the Wisp alive. No, Funix at least going to make it a 1-for-1 before he falls. Down he goes. Slark going to be able to kill him that time, but still, a relatively even exchange. Na'Vi can't be too upset with that, given that it was a 1v3 scenario right there. And right before that, we did see Havost grab a hand of Midas, a very early Midas as well. With that new recipe, he got it about 5.5 minutes, having it complete in the inventory. That is a very good timing. It really doesn't get too much better than that unless you're able to knock down like a 2-minute tower or, you know, a first blood or something to that effect. But in just a static farm fest, that's about as fast as you can grab a Midas here in 6.79C.
I think so too. Apart from the Ring of Protection that he bought, I mean, you could go for a full greed build. Go.
Gloves first.
Gloves first and nothing else. Then you can get it at like 4 or 4:30. No pun intended, by the way. But yeah, this is that's pretty much the fastest you can get it with the start he had. So looking good.
Looking good
for
indeed.
Havost, and looking good on all lanes for Na'Vi. And something needs to happen for Qpad.
Yeah.
They're not accomplishing much. The supports are dying against the offlaner. At least Durham is getting levels, so he's almost level 5. And that means... But where do they gank? That's the problem. Who do they go on? right now.
Queen of Pain, not an easy gank. Bristleback already pretty
he has
tanky.
Doom now. They have Doom, so now that's a kill. With Shadow, with a Disruption into Doom would make a kill.
Yes, and a double damage rune as well. Funnick is clearing out this Ancient stack, so he's now actually almost level 8. So he's doing very well. Looks like they want to turn it around on Doom here, though. He is going to throw the ulti onto Dendi. They're going to hop in. Blue Banana going to be in big trouble. Quap going to have enough to finish him off just with right clicks. Now RMN on the Wisp going to be on the run. He is going to double back. And he is going to survive for now. Durham now going to poke forward. Dendi going to get put in the disruption. Got to be a little bit careful here. Will be able to survive the Doom. Now has poison on him. And that bottle will be enough to tick him back up to an acceptable level of HP. Oh, a beautiful Impale going to connect with that pouncing Slark. And that will thwart his efforts. So Na'Vi going to find the better of it as Doom does take a spill in the mid lane.
Yeah, and not only do they win that fight, but Doom got used.
Yeah.
So, getting harder and harder. Qpads. I think the Clockwork has to be the one making a play soon. Oh, Villic almost dying mid there to Dendi, actually. And he's going to turn around on him. This could be a good turnaround kill. No! Oh, Dendi! Surviving with 20 health. That was very close. Magic Stick keeping him alive there.
Yeah. Villic with the
Clockwork
right
has to
idea.
move on level 6 right away.
Yeah,
make a play.
Definitely. I think Villic with the right idea there to try and catch a kill on Dendi. Unfortunately, that close call just not going to be enough. I think that, as you mentioned, the Magic Stick charges were the deciding factor there that kept Dendi alive. So, Dendi with the smart play to stand his ground, though. Didn't really have a choice, I suppose, in that kind of an engage. But with that death on Slark, now things looking a little bit more grim. He's still #1 on the side of Qpandas by a good margin, but the leading farmers in all 3 lanes now overtaking the farm of the Slark, who, as you've mentioned, was basically given everything. He was giving every advantage in that beginning with 2 supports dedicated to boxing out the Bristleback. And still, not the leading farmer, sitting #4 on the net worth chart, as Luna just continues to rack up the farm. Havost using that Hand of Midas at every cooldown, now has a Morbid Mask. He's going to be going for an early Helm of the Dominator.
Should be. Could also be a Mask of Madness if he's feeling crazy. Doubt it. But it's something we've seen Loda building in the past, actually, on Luna.
Would be crazy.
I don't think it's likely here, though. Yeah. Not really a good choice in this case.
And the Vanguard out on Bristleback now. Very good timing on that, right around the 9-minute mark. Nice and early.
Yeah, on an off-lane Bristleback, this is a dream start for him. Absolutely dream start. And on the contrary, Io level 4 at 9 minutes. This is when Io would like to have made its first or second relocate gank already, and here we go.
Yeah,
it's gonna get brought down again. At the very least, Queen of Pain does get brought down in the mid. Doom used once again. Slark was there as well, and the Shadow Demon.
Yeah. Not much Dendi can do against the Slark if he pounces in, and of course he's Doom, so can't blink away. And Doom does have the aggressive creep right now. He's got the crit as well as the pack leader's aura, so Blue Banana is hitting reasonably hard given that he has very few items to his name at the moment. But as before that gank happened, as you were mentioning, the Wisp, really the weak point for Qpandas. Now that he's fallen behind, he just has no mechanism to farm in the jungle, and making that recovery to grab level 6 is going to be a little bit difficult unless they can grab maybe a team fight perhaps. But oh no, Kuroki Vendetta.
Oh wow, what a whiff.
Yeah.
On the
Still,
Impale, but doesn't matter.
Yeah, gonna be a kill coming out. Dendi is back though, and he was able to finish off the Shadow Demon while all that was happening. It looks like we could see Clockwork in some trouble down here in the bottom lane. Blue Banana gonna come in. He's gonna try and help out his buddy, but won't be able to do much. Doom does not have the ulti up, and now Funnick gonna continue on. He did get a double kill already. Support comes in. Funnick reasonably low on mana here, but still gonna be able to spam those spines. That'll be the end of the Doom, and now this Slark gonna be in big trouble. The Freezing Field comes out. A little bit of RNG will go their way. No, Slark gonna be able to pour it out. Unlucky. A noble effort from Puppy, but still going to be a good exchange. 2-0, and they grab that bottom tier 1 tower. And we can't forget that it opened up even more room for Havost in the top lane, who is still just in free farm heaven.
This is really crazy. There's not even been a move from the Luna yet, like you said. He's up to 100 CS at 11 minutes. That's almost the perfect farm. He even has jungle creeps and Midas farm. Hasn't been contested on pretty much a single CS, so I would assume he's missed like 1 or 2 so far, or something along those lines. And he's had, yeah, when I said in the start this was going to be different from last game, I wasn't necessarily assuming he would have 100 CS at 11 minutes, but, well, I guess he's having a good time, and the way this is going, this might actually be an even more one-sided match than the last one, which, to say the least, was very one-sided, but there's nothing going the way of Qpanda right now.
Uh-oh, Havost in some trouble. He is level 11, so does have a level 2 Eclipse, but
something going the way of Qpanda.
Yeah, that will be an easy kill. Didn't even have to burn the Doom ulti as they do take him down. Havost going. That pretty greedy build is very squishy right now. Did finish the Helm of the Dominator, now a band of Elven Skin, so doesn't have the largest hit point pool. A much needed kill right there.
And they also didn't use hookshot.
Yeah.
So still opportunity to get another kill. If they push this top tower and someone TPs in foolishly here, they could be taken out. Na'Vi, however, they're going to trade for a tier 2 bottom. Maybe not even trade, as a matter of fact, as Qpad, not too much pushing power behind them right now.
Yeah. Glyph will come out from Qpad here. They're going to try and defend the bottom tier 2, or at least buy some time so they can grab that top tier 1. But it's looking like Na'Vi will have that pushing power advantage and might be able to port up to the rescue of their tower. They actually do have the Glyph available, so if they want to make a hold, they will be able to do it. Bottom tier 2 falls. Waiting for that Glyph. Na'Vi not going to do it. They're just going to sack it. They'll throw the Qpandas a bone, give them a little pick-me-up there, and they will get their first tower kill of the match.
Yeah, now with that top kill, they're opening up the jungle a bit. This means that Qpad can try to come in here and get more pickoffs, especially on Havost, but it's a little tricky during nighttime because of the night vision of Luna. It's not easier to gank Luna at nighttime. So they need to be a little bit careful with their entrance angle here, but they do have some good initiation with Clockwork as well as the Pounce if they manage to get in.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Na'Vi, they have arguably one of the best heroes against Roshan in the game, namely Bristleback, and they're going to use that right away.
Absolutely. Bristleback falls. Dendi going to be the one to grab the Aegis. We just heard Queen of Pain stating her immortality here, and he is level 11, so that level 2 Sonic Wave going to start to hurt a bit more. Looks like Dendi is well on his way to going for an early Orchid. Does have that first Oblivion Staff, and does he have a second one already? Actually has the Orchid. My mistake. It's on the Courier, so
oh
very
my god,
early
14
Orchid.
minutes?
Yeah, very, very early. Whew.
That's about as fast. It sometimes gets faster. I think we've seen 11 minutes, but that's also been without treads, for example, and without a death. He has one death, so that's cut him off a little bit. If he didn't have that death, he might have had it at like 12 with treads, or 12:30.
Yeah.
But just goes to show how far ahead Na'Vi are. And I don't think they're going to wait around and farm much more, even though Havost, like we said, is going for a greedy build, because the rest of their heroes are also in such a good position that they could probably just fight. And now Qpad trying, they're going desperate mode with 4 heroes up here, trying to get something. Actually, they might get Dendi here.
Hook shot onto Dendi. He does have the blink. He is going to be able to move out. Now Havost going to come in with that level 2 Eclipse, going to finish off the Shadow Demon. Down goes the Clockwork as well. Slark still alive, but not for long. Queen of Pain, a hero that works well against Slark. As you mentioned, not targetable in the ulti, but still susceptible to all of that AoE, and Qap going to use it right there. Nyx Assassin going to get doomed, and he might be able to survive. Kuroki going to start to retreat. Dendi going to hop forward, will throw the dagger onto the Wisp, tether forward, but not going to be enough to survive. Now Blue Banana in trouble, and that will be a 4-0. Dendi still, oh pardon me, Nyx Assassin is going to fall at the end, but Dendi still alive with just a few hit points to spare, with that Aegis still in tow. Translates to a top tier 1 tower kill, and Na'Vi continuing their reign of domination. Goldgraph.
There goes the Aegis to a rocket.
Goldgraph and experience, though, on par with about that 1k per minute mark, where things do get scary.
This is reaching dangerous territory. Oh, the Orchid actually going to be broken here from Villic by the Dark Pact, but RMN, oh, he's in a lot of trouble. Frostbite from Puppy as well. Dendi is going to get 1 kill, transforming into another one. That's not really the choice of words I would have liked to use there, but whatever. Funnick is going to run out as well, and he is going to get caught here at the tower.
Yeah, I think it's going to cost Funnick his life. He does overcommit just a pinch. That Shadow Demon does fall. Clockwork and a hook shot out. Going to connect with Dendi. He will have the blink, the rocket, get a connect, but won't be enough to secure the kill. Now Puppy, he's going to head for the hills, and I'm not sure that he's going to make it. Slark is a speedy little bugger, and he's going to try and make it happen. There's the pounce forward. It will leash, and no way Puppy's surviving this one, unfortunately, for the Crystal Maiden. So some counter kills do come the way of the Qpandas, but very small here. They make a little bit of recovery. They do get 2 counter kills. Nyx Assassin, though, he's in hot pursuit. Vendetta on. He's trying to find Villic. Some fancy footwork about the trees. Actually going to buy him enough time. The Vendetta expires. Wow. Well played. Yeah. Well played by the Slark right there. A nice little crafty play by Villic. But, yeah, same story here. Some serious struggles for Qpanda. That lead just out of control.
20,000 gold in about a quarter of an hour.
Yeah, out of control.
They have a mechanism on Doom, which gives them a little bit of fighting potential against the burst damage coming out from, in particular, Dendi. The problem is they don't have damage. That's kind of the real issue here. They have some single target damage with Slark, but they just can't take these head-on engagements against Na'Vi anymore, who are really starting to rack up items. Like Puppy went for a Shadow Blade of all things in this.
Yeah.
On that Crystal Maiden, so.
Yep.
Who's gonna kill Bristleback is my question. In a real engage,
good
who
question.
can bring him down?
Wisp just now hitting level 6 here at the 17-minute mark, so we have yet to see any relocate. It hasn't even been an option until now. Durham going to be in some trouble here. Actually going to burn the Sonic Wave for it. Orchid going to be enough to finish him off. Down he goes. That new little animation going to be shown there. Dendy going to be in trouble, though. I think Doom is going to be enough to finish him off. Dendy shall fall, and Kuroki, he's going to pay the price as well. It is going to be a 2-for-1. Navi getting a bit greedy there, and Qpandas will get a little pick-me-up.
They need another 10 of those at this stage. And they might get another one. Havost is in really far here. Villic.
Uh-oh, he's going to try and
pour
it
out.
out.
The hook shot. Oh, they got him.
Oh, no. Going to get interrupted.
On the battery assault.
Not much Havost could do right there. He did have an ultimate available. I thought he may try and just burn the Eclipse and possibly turn it around. Probably could have set up a kill on the Clockwork, but...
Throw Central coming on here from Navi.
Uh-oh. The Shadow
Blade. He's going to
Blade.
stand on top of him.
He's going to go for it. Oh, Clockwork, nowhere to go. Does have a battery assault available. He's going to be able to get it off. Puppy going to get interrupted, but that will be the end of the Clockwork. Slark going to be able to finish him off, and Sark just going to pour it out. Phonic not going to be able to interrupt it, and that will be...
That play really shows the state of mind Navi are in right now. That one play just summarizes what's going on in this game.
Yeah.
I don't even know why he would try that. But it actually, he got a 1-for-1, so why not? But that was a special play, let's call it.
Yes, that is a good word for it. A special play indeed. Manta style now going to be complete for Havost here. He is level 15 on that Luna, so that experience really starting to kick in. Uh-oh, Kuroki going to be in some trouble here. Wisp comes in. That tether, the Spirit Bomb, the spirits come in, and they secure that kill. So Navi, well, I don't want to say they're starting to throw here. They still have a more than 1,000 gold per minute lead, but slowly but surely conceding some kills over the way of Qpandas. Looks like a BKB going to become a reality for Dendy here. Does have the recipe as well as the Ogre Club. Dendy actually going to get doomed again, and they are going to pursue. Wisp going to give him a little bit of extra movement speed, and I think Dendy is going to fall here. Not going to have a blink. Nowhere to go, and that's going to be the end of the Queen of Pain. All the while in the mid lane, Navi continuing to stay aggressive here. Looks like they're going to try and find an engage on a Slark. Not going to find it. There's a relocate. Now Puppy going to be in a little bit of trouble. I think he is going to be slated to fall. Funnick just going pure man mode here, trying to finish off Durham. And I don't know that he's going to be able to make it happen. Funnick in no man's land here. Wisp will relocate out. Is going to grab the kill on the Shadow Demon. But at what cost? As he does head for the hills. Negative Urn going to be on. The rocket connects. And Funnick, much to my surprise, is going to survive. He does have that Yasha for a little bit of extra movement speed. And now the support going to come in. Luna inbound. Havost looking for an opening. And not going to find it. Slark did pick off Puppy once again here, though. I missed that while this action up top was beginning to commence.
Yeah, the Slark managed to pick off Crystal Maiden at the end there. The Shadow Blade expired and he found that kill.
Yeah. What's sort of funny here, though...
successfully managed to almost throw 10,000 experience back. Oh, sorry, not 10,000. It's only 5,000. The bars aren't on 10,000 yet. So it's only 5k experience only that Qpandas has gained in that last amount.
I was going to say, what's interesting is that even though Qpandas have been able to pick up a disproportionate amount of kills, the Goldcraft is still holding steady. It's pretty much bottomed out at that 20k mark, so Navi's still finding much better map control, much better farm, and of course that Hand of Midas helping out quite a bit for Havost here. So, alright, well, let's see when Navi want to try and seal the deal. Maybe they're going to wait for next Roche. He'll be coming up in maybe about a minute and a half or so. But kind of just toying with their opponents, it feels, at this point. Maybe just waiting for Nyx to grab that Dagon before they really want to do it.
The item choice, when you get a Yasha on Bristleback at this stage, I think it could actually be good in a Sanjin Yasha if he chooses to go for that. But getting the Yasha first will generally be a little bit of an odd choice because you prefer the extra damage from the strength and the tank ability. But I can see the idea in getting the Yasha first as well. If he feels like he's tanky enough, he actually gets very, very fast with this. When he has 7 stacks up on his Warpath, or sorry, only 6 right now because it's level 2, when that's maxed out, he has 522 move speed. So, works in that regard.
Cruising all over the place. Slark is now going to have a BKB. I believe it's on the way via that courier. Yes, indeed it is. So, Slark going to have a BKB, going to be a little more potent in these upcoming team fights. Don't know that that'll be enough, but still, Slark already difficult to lock down. He is 6-3 right now, 6-3-3. So Slark has actually been able to find some kills about this game. Now a medallion out on Puppey as well. A very, very strange Crystal Maiden build.
Unusual.
Boy. Yes.
Oh, Doom on Havost, here we go.
Havost
well, he's toast.
Yeah, Havost in big trouble. The team support's going to be there, but Havost is going to be the first to fall. Now Kuroki going to be in trouble as well. Blue Banana going to find a double kill here in the mid lane, and they are going to continue to pursue if they can find someone to engage on. Puppey is going to be invisible, compliments of that Shadow Blade, and he'll be okay for now. Dendi going to be nearby. Hookshot going to connect. The follow-up not going to be there, though. Obviously, they don't have the lockdown without Doom to finish him off. Slarp gonna hop forward, and Dendi with a big ulti gonna finish off the Slark. Io gonna get taken out as well. Now Blue Banana in big trouble. Dendi has quite a bit here, and he's gonna be able to scream to finish off the Doom. Just gonna stand his ground as they run into the Queen of Pain. Are they gonna be able to finish off Durham? Not gonna have it. Puppey with the negative urn. He's gonna fall. Down he goes. But Dendi, the true champion.
They just 2-on-5'd them there on the cliff. Perfect positional play there from Na'Vi. They knew they were going to chase them up the cliff, use that to their advantage to get off a very nice freezing field as well as the Sonic Wave on 3 heroes, and what looked like Qpad was picking up some really useful kills there, just ended up going down the drain again, and
Radiant's middle tower
if they wouldn't have chased that, that would have been a pretty good exchange for them, but they kind of have to go for the whole shebang, right?
The whole kit and caboodle.
Else it's not enough.
Yeah, and still, just looking at that gold graph, a reasonably successful team fight for Qpandas, and Na'Vi still just furthering their gold lead, especially towards the tail end. Dendi, just if you don't use that Doom on Dendi, you know he's going to come back and he's hungry for vengeance after all those Dooms that came his way earlier on. He does now have that BKB, going to be able to grab an ultimate orb as well. Also level 17, Luna 18, so those are 2 level 3 ultimates on the field that Qpandas do not have. Not a single level 3 ultimate in their arsenal.
We also haven't talked too much about the farm, have we? I think you should look at the last hit chart, because Havost is closing in on having 2.5 times the last hits of the highest hero on Qpad.
Wow.
He's got
really
240 at 24 minutes. That's 10 CS per minute. That's pretty damn solid.
More than solid. That's just damn right impressive. Roshan is going to be up here at the 24-minute mark, and Na'Vi going to move straight into the pit. Kuroki is scouting it out. He does have Vendetta on. And they're still pretty safe, just dropping Roche. Qpan is looking like they wanted to maybe contest, but not going to be able to do it, and they won't get there in time. Now they are going to poke forward, they being Na'Vi. Doom, no, pardon me, that's going to be level death on Puppey as he does walk by the sentry. Doom going to be dropped on Kuroki straight away. A scary precedent, because now Havost and Dendi going to be able to roam free. And Slark going to hop in with that BKB. He really wants to finish off this Nyx Assassin. It will get denied by the Bristleback. Now Slark's stuck in kind of an awkward position. Going to be able to hop away. Meanwhile, in America, Dendi over here just soloing the world. He's going to finish off the Clockwork. He's going to kill the Shadow Demon as well. And he may hop forward and try and pick on this Wisp a little bit. Wisp did grab some serious experience, though. All of a sudden, he's going to be level 11. Not going to be enough to keep him alive against the wrath of the mighty Queen of Pain. Oh, I said mighty again. Darn it. Blue Banana heading for the hills here, though. He's going to try and pour it out. Will they have enough damage? Yes, they will. Down goes the Banana. And one left alive. It's going to be the Slark. He will be able to pounce back into the base. Havost diving the tier 4 is not going to find the kill. But now, Na'Vi looking to seal the deal, perhaps. Glyph comes out as they start pressuring the bottom tier 3.
They've had enough toying around. Now it's business time.
Business
time to end the game right away.
Get your briefcase ready. It's business time.
There's no Elder Titan, though, with the briefcase, but we'll have to settle for the second best, which is Bristleback.
Oh, man. Bottom lane of Rack's going to dissipate. Gold lead now. Still holding steady. Upwards of about 30k experience lead to boot. Looking very dark for our Radiant side. Well, they're going to hop out here, though. Villic going to burn the BKB. Pounce didn't leash, but he's ready to man up. He's going to hop into the team. He sees Dendi, and he's just ready to about face. Now Dendi going to hop forward. He's going to use his BKB. Looks like they want to hit this Wisp. Wisp will be able to do a kamikaze dust before he goes down. And down goes the Slark. The rest of Qpanda is about to follow as those glaives bounce into the well. Triple kill going the way of Funnick. And now Na'Vi can just feel safe to take the tier 4s, maybe take the tier 3 mid. Really, whatever they want to do, it's going to be kosher here. And there it is, the GG well played.
Yeah, so how much did they rack up? About 34,000 gold advantage in 27 minutes and 31,000 experience. And that was with a little bit of toying around. So safe to say, probably the most one-sided game we've had today. Even though it was longer than the last one, the GG call came later from Qpad, and they did get a little bit more of bouncing back than the retry did against Sigma, but from the start to the end, just Na'Vi winning absolutely everything everywhere in this game. And
yeah,
mainly the supports from Qpad in the start did not get the start they needed to actually have an impact on the game, unfortunately, because the pull spot was blocked, they didn't have sentries to counter it, and they didn't accomplish too much bottom. Actually, they died 2 heroes trying to kill Bristle, so they gave him the game of his life. With that kind of start, with these heroes, it's very, very hard to come back. With an IO and Shadow Demon who have a tough start and the enemy supports get strong. Against a Nyx Assassin, for example, Kuroki actually ending the game with 0-5-7. Got focused pretty hard and didn't get a single kill. And I think Funnick, twice in this game, actually, when Kuroki was doomed, he just ran around and hit him. I'm pretty sure he did. Just wanted him to die. So they're having some good fun with the game. They knew it was in the bag. And, I mean, why not? It's entertaining.
No doubt about it. Unfortunately for Qpad, again, with 3 stand-ins, can't be too hard on them. It is rough to play with 3 stand-ins in any situation, and 3 stand-ins that are not your consistent stand-ins. I don't think they have used Plox or Villic, maybe Villic once. So very difficult for the Qpandas, but still an interesting game. We do have one more coming up for you guys. It is going to be Alliance versus Flipside RU for our final match of the day, our 6th and final match, actually. So we are going to have a bit of a break here. I think about a 20-minute break or so until that match starts. But alas, Dota 2 coverage will resume here on Beyond the Summit. I am Zyori. With me today is Cinderin. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned because we'll be coming back after this break.